Hi there and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Bailey Pegasus brindisi. These are a basic walkthrough on how to set up and operate the van as if you were coming on off site. So starting off first, we have your black hitch head here and black lever. Black lever has to go up to then be able to wind down the jockey wheel onto the tow ball, which will result with it snapping down, pressing up that red button and exposing the green ring. Have your breakaway cable just here. If you have an eye point, legality states has to be used. You then have your handbrake here. Now this is a gas strut handbrake, so disengage by pressing of a button and letting off, and then you can hear it gradually tick. Now what you have to do is have that ticked all the way back. Don't just listen for the first initial one, just always give it an extra tug back to make sure it's fully in place. Then you have 13-pin electric, so if you do have 7-pin adaptation, make sure to bring yourself an adapter. 2 points either side and 2 points at the back, we have inserts for your legs. Now the caravan itself comes with a leg winder, or you can get yourself a 19mm drill bit and a power drill. Do not attempt to jack up or level the caravan using your legs, they're simply used for stabilisation. Now we're using test equipment today here, so we have a plug-in for the mains just here behind the axle. Plugs in nice and easy and just presses in gently. Coming round to the other side, starting off first, we have your inlet for your water. So the actual pump itself connects in by just pressing in, then you can press down the cap to lock it into place. Not going to be drawing water through today as it has just been fully drained off and the conditions are a bit too cold. Then here we have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice, clean and tidy. Then I have my test gas bottle here. So it's a red propane gas bottle, which I'd always recommend over butane as it has the best performance in colder conditions, with a black gas hose. Now gas hoses that are black run for 5 years, so this is dated 25, so we'll run up until 2030. That connects onto this regulator just here. Hand tighten that as much as you possibly can and then just nip it up using a spanner. Don't get it so it's ridiculously tight, as it puts pressure on the washer inside the hose and can cause it to crack and break. Once both sides are firmly connected, twist the gas bottle in the positive or open direction. Motor mover will be gone over on collection. These 2 points here are where your wastewater is going to come out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to then feed into a waste master that you can empty out at the appropriate point. And lastly, we have your toilet function. So first up, we have your cassette. To remove the cassette, press up on the orange handle and pull out towards you. Now this handle as well does extend out and up, so it can be used similar to a carry-on suitcase. Once you're at the appropriate point on site, twist that head to the side, open up that cap, then you want to tilt, and at the same time as tilting, continually pressing the vent button. What I would recommend afterwards is open up this compartment, feed in some fresh water, give it a bit of a shake, and again tilt and vent. Okay, then on this cap here, you have measurements in both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes into there, back onto the point, twist it in, push in the cassette so the orange handle sits behind the white teeth. Then up here we have your flush tank. The flush tank itself has a capacity of holding around 12 litres of water. However, I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10 as you don't want to overfill the compartment. You can also add a bit of pink chemical which works as a bleach without being corrosive and makes it smell a bit nicer. Just up above here we have your little bung to drain off any remaining water from the flush tank. As mentioned, the caravan will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Then underneath your right hand side seat, we have your main boiler just here, your Truma combi boiler, and this yellow switch valve. As you can see right up, it's currently switched to the upright position, which is in drain mode. This is how you'll collect the caravan. November to March, have that up permanently unless you're actively using the van, and anytime you come off site, make sure to give it a quick drain off. When you want to use it, all you do, flick it down, but we'll keep that up for now. Then underneath your fridge, you have all of your trips and fuses, all your trips facing the upright position and all your fuses in the correct position. I would always recommend carrying some extra fuses across the van. Then just here we have your main control panel. So it turns on and off using this switch here. You have main internal lights using this switch. Then you have your awning light just here, which you can see is all operative. Then at the top, you can see the amount of volts coming into the van. Now, when you're plugged into mains, that will show the amount from the mains. When you only have your battery on, that will only show that amount. Then lastly, we have this switch here, which is for your water pump. When you switch that on, that green light will come on to say that it's filling up. Once the boiler itself is full, that will then cut off. There will be no more light. Anytime that you run some water, the boiler will pull it back through and that light will come back on until it's filled up again. This here is your water pump. The water pump itself pushes in and then you press down the cap to connect it. You then have this plastic cap to go over the top of the acroll to make sure no nastiness gets in. And then at the bottom we have your strainer. Now it's crucial that the strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel to allow the maximum potential of water to come through. Then, once you've all set up, you've got your drain valve in the correct position and you've pressed pump. I usually say let it come through for about 2 to 3 minutes. Come over to your taps, open on both hot and cold, and let it run for about 30 seconds. What you're looking for is a nice steady continuous stream. Any coughs and splutters, go outside, check the strainers at the bottom of the barrel, check your drain valves in the correct position, and just make sure you have plenty of water. Maybe a case that it will be highly pressurized if you've not used it in a long time, so just do be aware of that. Then just here we have your Truma control panel. So this is for your heating and hot water. As you can see, it fades to grey when it's not being fiddled with for a little bit. So this is your main screen, which tells you the time, which can be altered in the settings. First up, we have the van with the thermometer in it. This is for the internal temperature of the caravan that you desire. Goes up to a maximum of 30 and starts at 5. Whatever you select, that's what it will get to. As you can see there, that flame signifies that you have the heating on. For now, I'm just going to turn it off. Next up, we have water heat. So you either have Eco, which will get the water temperature to 40 degrees, Hot, which will get it to 60 degrees, or Boost. Now, Boost will prioritise the water heat over the heating of the actual caravan for around about 15 to 30 minutes. And then after that time, it will then drop it back down to hot. So that will prioritise it over the heating. Next, we have your energy sources. So we can either use gas, a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt of mains, mixture of gas and 2 kilowatt, strictly electric with 1 kilowatt, or strictly electric with 2 kilowatts. So you have a couple of choices. Now, as I'm currently not set on heating, if I go over to this fan icon, I either have off or vent. Now, what vent does, it circulates the air across the caravan and pushes it around. So if you had the windows open, it would allow for nice fresh air to come in. However, let's put on a bit of heat, come back over to it. I either have Eco or High now. Eco is nice steady fans, whilst High is a bit more vigorous to heat it a bit quicker. Turn that off again. Then we're on the bottom row, so we have this symbol. This is for a timer to allow you when you'd like the heating and hot water to start and then stop. So you first input the hour, then the minute for starting, then the hour and the minute for ending. Then you have the time, so you just select the correct time. It is currently set for a 24-hour clock. And lastly, that spanner icon is your additional settings. So you either have offset, temperature, brightness, 12 or 24-hour clock, language, or index or reset. I'm not going to go through that as we have set it to what we believe is the most user-friendly interface to use. If you'd like to have a look inside your book packs to see what they represent, please do so. Then to turn off this panel completely, press and hold in on this button and it will turn itself off. Then just here we have your hob, grill and oven. Now all of this operates on gas minus the electric plate. For the electric plate, spin to whatever mark and the light will come on to show that it's getting to heat. Everything else, press in the dial, twist it to the side and press your igniter. Now it may be a case that the flame will light and then cut off, or just take a little bit longer to heat when you first come to use it. That's natural. That's the gas making its way through its system. This is what it looks like when they're all lit. As you can see there, nice blue, clean, continuous flames. Turn it off, back to the central position. And it's the same concept for the grill, so let's see if I can do this with one hand. There you go, both sides nice and lit. And finally, the oven. So again, press in, twist to the side. You can see all nice and lit there as well. Only other real thing to note, you need to travel with this glass sheet down, but don't put it down until all of these are nice and cold. If you're travelling with a gas bottle, you can travel with the actual hose connected, but make sure the bottle itself is off. Then just here, we have your fridge operation. So you have 3 different choices for sauce. So currently, this dial is set to 12 o'clock, meaning that it's off. Switch it over slightly to 3 o'clock, and that goes on to mains. Now, as you can see, when it's on, nice blue lights to signify that. The next one is a battery symbol. That is representative of 13-pin electric, and only that. That does not mean you can run it off your leisure battery. So if you ever do set it to that and it's not at the correct point, it's going to trip the fridge. But last one is gas. Now for gas, it's a little bit different. You have this gauge here, which is the amount of power coming into the fridge itself. Thicker the bar, the more power. But you can also press this in and press this igniter at the same time. You have to press and hold them for around about 30 seconds. And what will gradually happen is this orange bar will float over into the green. Once it's in the green, you can then let go and you are then lit on gas. I wouldn't recommend using gas until you've checked through all your hob, grill and oven. This is what it looks like. As you can see, the bar is now floated over. This example took me around 10 seconds. Now, if I switch it over onto any other source, immediately drops down. And even if I were to switch it back to gas, you can see the bar gently floats back into the white, meaning it's not lit. So you have to press in both of these. Gradually, you'll hear it tick in and it will begin to push itself up. Back to central, that means the fridge is off. And lastly, we have your fridge operation. Not fridge, this is your toilet, which is bog simple. Pressing this button on the top, and you can hear that motor whir. That is what will push around any water inside the system. To remove your waste, press away on this handle, opens up the cassette, pull it back towards you to shut up the cassette. You need to have it pulled back towards you, 1, because you don't want the caravan to stink of waste, and 2, to actually be able to remove the cassette. If the cassette is full, there'll be a red light there telling you to empty.